What's going on, wrestling fans? It is IC Fall, and welcome to Getting Blue right here on SE Scoops. On this show, we talk about the good, the bad, the what the heck moments. Of course, at the end of the show, we hand out the most valuable entertainer award. Let's start with the good of SmackDown. Obviously, it's the Maxim Male Models 2022 Tennis Collection. Oh, my cord is going crazy because I'm so excited because we finally are getting Maxim male models every week. Last week we saw them, and my juices were titillated. I don't know where this is going, but I'm going to enjoy the ride. You know, it's like going on a road trip. You start driving, you lose the map out the window. What? Where'd it go? Ah! So now you have to deal with the road. You're on it. So enjoy the view. Tennis. Next week, who knows what we'll dressed as? Cricket. Maybe they'll be wearing nice cricket outfits. Next week after that, maybe just as firefighters. I don't know. I just hope we can get to like Halloween and Christmas and keep seeing these ridiculous outfits, Christmas sweaters. I'm excited. And eventually, they're going to be tag team champions at some point because that's what happens in the WWE. Someone shows up, you're a tag team, you suddenly do well, you become tag team champions. It makes sense to me somehow. But also, by the way, this past week, I interviewed Alberto Del Rio, will be coming out on NBC Sports Boston. I talked to Killer Cross about StarCast. I talked to Jordan Grace about a lot of things, a lot of controversial things as well. So I've talked to a lot of people this week. That's all on NBC Sports Boston. Just want to throw that out there for you. Let's talk about the bad of SmackDown. Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan has been booked for SummerSlam. And I guess it all made sense. But I'm a little fearful for Liv Morgan. Because if we look at the history of Ronda Rousey, her losing matches is not very high. A couple, she lost to Becky Lynch and Charlotte at WrestleMania, and she's been cashed in on a few times. So she's really never lost a singles match. And here we go. We're going to get Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam. Ronda beat Natalya, and now it's going to happen. But it's interesting because for so long, it felt like rematches and getting your championship back was not part of the plan. Remember, we kept going through this phase of like, oh, you lost your tag team titles. Oh, you lost your women's championship. Well, guess what? You don't get an automatic rematch. And to me, a little bizarre. And I know they're trying to say, oh, well, because we don't have the same matches over and over and over again. But you still book the same matches over and over and over again. So why not give all the champions rematches? At least do it like the next week on TV. So we're not dealing with this again, because now we're going to have to deal with Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Ronda Rousey. And I mentioned Natalya because she's not in the match with Ronda and Liv Morgan at SummerSlam, but she's going to be used as the person who keeps getting beat by each individual throughout the week. So obviously, Ronda beat Natalya on SmackDown, right? Okay, let's go to next week. I'm guaranteeing you Liv Morgan's going to beat Natalya. And then the week after that, it's going to be, can Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey coexist? They'll be in a tag team match. It'll be them versus Natalya and probably Tamina. And Natalya is going to keep taking those L's. And it's sad because if you go back about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 now, Ronda Rousey, she just got kind of like slapped in the face with Natalya dressed as her. I was impressed. I thought Natalya was doing her best work in that Ronda Rousey storyline, but clearly Natalya was never going to win the belt. We all knew that. The storyline was great. Unfortunately, Natalya's going to be used as the scapegoat for all the L's for Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. We'll see how it all plays out, but I have a bad feeling Natalya's going to keep losing. But Ronda versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam is very interesting because is Ronda Rousey going to get pinned? 1, 2, 3, clean in the ring to Liv Morgan. I don't know. Because again, Ronda Rousey has taken on people: Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. There's been multiple people: Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Dana Brooke as well. She's beaten them all. She's beaten them all. Her versus Liv Morgan is gonna be like, I have no clue how that's supposed to end, because Ronda seems like she'll never lose. Liv Morgan just won the belt. So if Ronda's going to do business, I hope she does business, and she's going to lose to Liv Morgan. I apologize for touching my face. My mustache is so itchy. We'll see what happens. Move on, though, to the What the Heck award. I was not surprised by this, but I was a little disappointed. It's like when your kid does something. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. We were advertised a match heading into this event: Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. The winner would go on to fight whoever was the champion at Clash at the Castle in September. And I'm thinking, wow, we are in about midway through July, and we're going to book September's pay-per-view. And I'm cool with that. I am very cool with that. I like looking forward to a little yawn. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know why I just yawned. I think someone yawned in my house. They're contagious. They are contagious. Anyways, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus supposed to happen. It is canceled, and we get Butch versus Drew McIntyre instead. And I guess this makes sense because you want to extend this. I just brought it up. We're in mid-July. Not even mid-July, like the 9th. So obviously, you have to extend the storyline because we have to get through July. We have to get through August. Most likely, I'm guessing, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre is going to be at SummerSlam, and the winner of that match will take on whoever wins, Roman versus Brock, or Theory at Clash at the Castle. We'll have to see. I think at some point, when you keep ripping the rug out from your fans, it's creating like a feeling of, well, I know this isn't going to happen. Like, I don't think you should have that feeling of when they book a match that you know it's not going to happen. It can a little disappointing. Now, obviously, it's a storyline tactic. We have to fill in weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of TV. So how do you do that? Well, you take something that's so simple as a number one contenders match, and you extend it out 4 to 5 weeks. So next week, most likely, Drew McIntyre versus Ridge Holland will happen on SmackDown. The week after that, it's going to be booked: Drew McIntyre for Sheamus, SummerSlam. That happens. Drew wins. And then we have all of August, because Clash of the Castle is in like the front end of September. Like, I think it's September 4th. So there's a lot of time to fill in. So most likely, that's why this Butch Drew McIntyre match happened. But it's upsetting because you're like, oh, sweet, we're gonna find out who the number one contender is. Turns out we didn't. But you got to fill in time. You got 2 hours of SmackDown, 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of NXT. You got to fill the time. How do you take a match, one little thing, and extend it to 5 weeks? Well, you do it like this. So that was my What the Heck award. Advertising matches that didn't happen. But that's happened forever. That's nothing new. Like, you go back and watch like a 1999 episode of Raw is War, and people say that was the best time for wrestling. Okay, it was for a lot of reasons, but at the same time, they'll be like, tonight it's gonna be The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're like, oh my god, no way! And by the time you get to hour 2, it's like, no, it's not. It's gonna be Austin versus Mideon now. And you're like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Was it Mideon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin? Anyways, and let's move on to the most valuable entertainer. It goes to Theory. Where's my cell phone? Yeah, like an ugly selfie for sheer. Oh yeah. Okay, that's a good selfie. That's a good selfie. Roman Reigns was on SmackDown. Yay! He was on SmackDown. People are happy. I'd be so pissed if I went to SmackDown and he wasn't there. I'd be so pissed. Very upsetting. But yet we're already planting the seeds. seed. Theory and Roman Reigns. Fresh match. Fresh match. We're already advertising Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam as being the last time they'll fight. Yeah, okay. But it is last man standing, but we'll see. The last man standing match is very intriguing because when you win a match like that, a guy has to be down for 10 seconds. What will happen? Is someone going to get duct taped to the post like Batista versus John Cena? Are we going to see a bunch of chairs land on someone? Are we going to see a table dumped on someone? What happened at Big Show? Roman versus Brock. I have this weird feeling that both men are going to get the 10 count. Like it's going to be a double count out. Last man standing. They're both on the ground. I'm assuming there's some sort of like alien invasion and like they come down and they beam like the Independence movie and they make Brock and Roman explode into pieces and then they put them back together like the Matrix movies. We'll have to see. But Theory cashing in at SummerSlam, I want to see it, but I don't want to see it because it seems like, oh my God, Drew McIntyre is finally going to get his championship back at Clash of the Castle. Oh, what a moment. All those fans, a huge stadium going crazy. Drew. But yet, are we going to see that? Or are we going to see Theory cash in on Roman? Or Drew McIntyre wins at Clash of the Castle. Theory cashes in on Drew, and that's going to be a sad moment. I don't know. That's the best thing about the Money in the Bank briefcase is you don't know when it's going to happen. Do I want Theory to cash in on Roman? No. Do I want Drew to beat Roman? Yes. Do I want Theory to cash in on Drew? No. So there's a lot of feelings I have about the situation, but all I can say is I'm excited because I don't know what's going to happen. And hopefully no websites spoil what's going to happen because that's not cool, man. That's not cool. But there you go, folks. The good, the bad, the what the heck, and of course, the most valuable entertainer is Theory here on SmackDown. I gotta give SmackDown either a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a thumbs in the middle. Let's do it together. But you point out your thumb like this. We count to 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We're about like a 60 or 70% here. SmackDown is the most inconsistent show in the WWE. Raw, always consistent. I think it's been so good for like the past 6 months. Like Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, unstoppable on the microphone, unstoppable in the ring. You have Asuka, Bianca Belair. Like Raw is Raw is the show. It's back to being the flagship show. It was not for years. SmackDown, it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. But we'll see what happens next week. But there you go. A little 60, 70. Miss Chrissy Love was supposed to do this with me, but unfortunately, last night, as you can tell, I'm recording this late. Last night, my son, who's 2 years old, had a conniption. He had a meltdown at 10 o'clock at night. And from 10 o'clock at night, about 2 in the morning, he was awake screaming about things. I don't know what was going on in his brain. He must have been very worried about Roman Reigns getting cashed in on. That's my guess. So that's why this episode is coming out now. I apologize. Thank you, though, for watching. And remember, next week on NBC Sports Boston, I have interviews with Alberto Del Rio, Killer Cross, and a brand new AEW signee. Take a wild guess. Folks, we'll see you next time for Getting Blue right here on SE Scoops. Bye.